Hey everybody, it's Dave, Dugdale, learningvideo.com. So my brother called while I was doing a Blackmagic camera review, and he wants to do some YouTube videos. He does construction, remodels, stuff like that, flips houses, and he's got a lot of stuff to share. And he said, you know, it'd be kind of fun to do this. And I'm like, that sounds good. That's great. And so he asked me what kind of camera to get. And so what this video is going to be about is basically using Resolve. But the advice I gave him, I said, like in the first 5 or 10 videos that you do, just do it on your phone. He's got a Samsung phone. Just record on the phone. It'll do an amazing job. And then if you're watching this, I'm really going to give this to, I'm going to be talking to my brother. But if you're watching this and you want to learn more about Resolve, you've never used it before, well, I'm going to be editing this video that I just shot on my phone on there. And I'm going to show you how to set things up like you've never used it before. So let's get started. All right, my brother's name is George. That's his real name. Guess what his nickname is? Considering my last name is Dugdale. I've always called him Doug. Dugdale? Because everybody else has called him that. All right, so if I say George or Doug, I'm talking to the same guy. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is connect your USB up to your computer, connect your phone up to it. You can probably hear a whole bunch of sounds like blub, 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 blub. And it's gonna say, would you like to, there goes one sound. Would you like to allow it? It might say something like allow, or I don't know what it says on a Samsung phone. So once that comes up, bring up, my brother is not on a Macintosh. I'm pretty sure he said he was on an HP. So bring this up and you're gonna see something under my PC like iPhone or Samsung. And then we're gonna go find the files. I'm gonna guess it's in this one. I just shot a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I'm gonna sort by date. Date created, maybe? Today's the 9th. So I think all of these are ones that I just did. So I'm gonna copy these, and under X projects, this is all the stuff I'm currently working on. I'm just gonna create a new folder. You can do this lots of different ways, and I'm just going to call this we'll call it Doug Resolve Tut, and then just go ahead and copy it over. So this might take a little bit of time. So while this is downloading, let's go over and take a look at Resolve, where to download that. It's a totally free program. I have the paid version, which is only 300 bucks, but the free version pretty much does 95%. In my brother's case, 100% probably what he wants to do. He probably will not use the other percentage of that is paid. So let's go ahead and download that now. All right, so once you have Resolve downloaded, go ahead and open it, and it's going to come to like a project screen. Once this comes up, this Resolve, DaVinci Resolve Studio 15. You're going to open Untitled Project. All right, my screen is really big and wide, so the aspect ratio might look a little bit different than yours. But the first thing we're going to do is go to the Media tab, and we're going to import those projects, that project we did. So go and look for where it says your, whatever you called it, Doug Resolve tutorial or whatever you're working on. Right click on it, and what I usually do is say add folder and subfolders into media pool. So that grabs everything, even if you've created subfolders, and it creates it under the master. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And it says these are different. I'm going to say change for right now. We'll get into all that stuff later. And you can see it brought in all of the different clips of this little tutorial we're going to do, which I did really fast. All right, before we go any farther, I want to customize a few things and get you set up. So what you do is go over to DaVinci Resolve, come down to keyboard customization, because there's a lot of shortcuts I have, and I've got muscle memory, and I'm going to be very frustrated. I have to figure out how to go back. And these are after years of using this program, so hopefully you'll enjoy the way I have this set up. So what you see here, it says Dave Resolve 14 shortcuts. Well, it's 15 now, but they're the same basically. So click on this 3-dot thing and then say Import Preset. And in the file that I sent you, or maybe I'll put it somewhere other people can grab it too, I'll share it, and go ahead and import it. And that's going to set up all of your shortcuts to be exactly the same as mine. So if I say press E or R on the keyboard, it's going to do something exactly, so we're on the same page basically. You can go ahead and close that. Next thing is go to preferences. Let's go to, we're going to just kind of go down these. I'm just going to look at them quickly. I think all of the presets are, I'm looking for things that I've changed. What I would highly suggest is do live save. You can do project backups as well, but where the saves, the file is kind of a database. You can't really see it. I back up my database because I know where it's actually located. But I would just click live save, and that way if you lose anything, you can just go back, reopen the program, and it'll be there, which is fantastic. That works really well. Editing, I don't think we have changed anything there. Color, there might be some things I've changed, but I don't think you're going to have to touch. Fairlight, playback settings, control panels, you don't have metadata. I do have something, but that I don't think you're going to have to worry about that one. Under system, let's go through here. I got 64 gig of RAM. I have a graphics card. My brother's computer, I think, is probably pretty wimpy. So I'm going to try to keep things pretty easy for him. I'll show him some things to make it easier. He doesn't have like a scratch drive or anything like that. I would say try clicking this box right here if it's not clicked. The decode H.264 and H.265 acceleration, that might help your computer. If it doesn't, we can uncheck that. That looks fine. I think we have to fool around with any plugins for him. General, that's something you don't have to worry about. Advanced. And so what I'm going to do is there's a gear icon on the lower right hand corner, very far. It's called project settings. Go ahead and click on that. We'll start at the top. This one I don't think you have to touch, but here I want to make sure that you're like in a 1080 timeline, because I think that's where your phone records, the Samsung. If it's shooting in 4K, I'd say move it to 1080, because I think you're going to have a world of hurt with your computer if you try to do 4K, especially with it's probably encoded in H.265, so it might be really hard on your computer. So let's keep it to choose this option. Everything else should be the way it is factory default. Video monitoring you have to worry about because you don't have an external monitor from your GUI monitor. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Yeah, image scaling. I forget which one is probably less. It's harder. I think it's maybe try bicubic if it's not chosen. I think that'll be a good place for you to start. All this other stuff looks fine. Color management, leave it its default. Mine is probably different than yours, but it's not going to matter for what you're doing. Camera, playback. I think that's about it, and then we can get started. All right, so we've got all this stuff dumped in here. Let me pause and find out where that other file is. Hold on. All right, so I found that missing file. So I think we got all of our assets and we're ready to go. So I'm going to click on the edit button. I'm going to give you a quick tour around here. If this layout doesn't look like yours, again, mine is really wide. Yours might not be this wide. You're going to have things that can expand out and expand down. Like for instance, if you press this button, you're going to see how it expands downward. And we want this to be all filled up down here. Now if we click on effects, that's something. Edit tab, sound library, we're going to, the one that you're going to be in mostly for right now is a media pool. And this bottom area we can change as well. But if you don't want, you can just drag this down like this if we're not going to use all of that. Over on this side is kind of the similar thing. We've got a mixer, so you can see the audio. For now, I could say you could just leave it off. There's meta information that'll come into here, as well as inspector, and as well this one can shoot all the way straight down if you want it to, or you can have lots of room on the timeline, which I would say start that way. We have nothing on the timeline right now, and what I'm going to do is let's go back to the media tab. We'll take a look at the attributes. These attributes might be set up a little bit differently than yours, but you're going to see that most of this stuff is surprisingly 1080, but there's some 720, which is, oh, I know why, because so this must be the facing camera, and this camera is the other camera, the backside camera, and this is the front side camera. That's why the resolution is different. And this one, the resolution is obviously very different as well. But we're going to do it all on a 1080 timeline, and we'll just upscale this 720, which for the phone, totally fine. So here's like the introductory shot. It took me a couple of takes. What I would recommend doing is turning on this part right here so you can actually see the audio. Show full clip audio waveform, and then you can see where you've kind of start and stop and made mistakes. And in fact, let's skim through this. You can see I just made a mistake, and then blah 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 blah. I'm getting warmed up, which usually happens when I start. The first take, I'm like, nah, that's no good. Let's do it again. And a lot of times when I'll do it, like I'll say, I'm repeating myself, or I'm starting over, I'll do take number 3 or whatever. And this really helps. And you can see it took me like 3 takes before I changed the camera angle. Changing the camera angle is always good. But what's great about this green stuff that you see right here, is you can see where I'm starting. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the cursor where I think I'm starting, which is right about here. I'm going to press I on the keyboard, which is setting the endpoint. And I'm just going to go blah, 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 all the way to the end, and I'm going to hit play. And that might be where I'm going to end it. And I'm just going to hit the O key. I'm going to take this whole thing, and I'm going to drag it down onto the timeline, like that. And let's move this up a little bit. This down a little bit like that. And then when I hit play here, I'm going to press the space bar. Hey, everybody's Dave Dugdale. Hey, everybody's Dave. And you can see I already made a mistake. So what I'm going to do is hit the Z key, which I've set up for your shortcuts. And you can see what the Z key does. It zooms in on the timeline. I'm going to go find that spot where I'm starting, right here. And I'm going to press the E key. Watch what happens when I press the E key. It basically trimmed that first part off that I screwed up. Hey, everybody's Dave Dugdale. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up, because the audio is pretty low. Now, I'm not sure how the screen capture audio is doing this, but you should be able to hear this quite well as my voice. Hey everybody, it's Dave Dugdale. I'm going to be installing WiseCam. This is a very popular camera. It's only like 25 bucks. So the first thing we're going to do on my edit, I'm going to bring this track down a little bit so I can see things a little bit easier. We're going to go to the effects library, and I've set up some favorites you can see are turned red. I'm going to go down towards the bottom and just grab a regular text one. And I'm just going to start editing as I go here. A lot of different ways you can do this. Again, if you don't see this over here on the right hand side of the inspector, just go ahead and click on it, or meta data information. Click until you see this where it says title. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put in Dave Dugdale. I don't like that stock font that they put with it, so I'm going to use this one maybe right here. Now you can click this button right here on the bottom that has the 4 corners pinned, and then you could just drag it to wherever you want, kind of like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a background. So I'm going to increase the width, maybe it's the height first. I'll do the height, and we'll just bring this, I don't know, we'll do something like this really quick. And so where I say, hey, this is Dave Dugdale, I'm going to turn this off. Hey, everybody's Dave Dugdale. And then right there, I'm just going to slide this over. Now, I'm going to zoom in a bit more so you can see this. This track is selected, and I'm just going to see where my cursor is. I'm just going to slide this a little bit this way, maybe a few frames, like 2 or 3 frames. Let's try this again. Hey, everybody's Dave Dugdale. I'm going to be installing WiseCam. And so I talk about WiseCam, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy, and I'm going to paste. Obviously, you can do a lot fancier stuff with what this is. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to do stuff like that. So I'm going to, I don't know, maybe go to WiseCam. I think I want to make sure it's spelled correctly. Yes, WiseCam version 2. That's what I wanted. Again, there's tons of reviews on it. It's an amazing little device. So I'm just going to put in WiseCam, something like that. And then I might want to ease it in, so I might go like a few frames like this. And let's see what happens. I'm going to use Shift Z. So Z zooms in, Shift. I'm holding the Shift key down. I'm pressing Z. And you see I'm I zoom in, or Shift Z, I zoom out. Zoom in, and I'm just going to play it from here.
I'm going to be installing a Wisecam. This is a very popular.
So I want the people don't know how. I'm going to keep that going for a long time so people can see that.
I'm going to be installing a Wisecam. This is a very popular camera. It's only like 25 bucks, 20 bucks. What it comes with is basically.
Maybe right now I'm going to get rid of it because my hands and the thing are in the way. So I'm just going to slide this over like that.
With is basically this power adapter. Comes with a cable, but I bought an extra long cable. It's 10 foot. I'll put the links to everything down below. And we got a mounting plate. So this mounting plate will go under the eave, and it comes with screws. And I've already done an install of these on already. Actually on the other side of my garage, pointing out to the.
So right here, I'm kind of babbling a little bit. This might be just fluff, and I might just get rid of it.
Go under the eave, and it comes with screws.
Right there. I think I'm done. I don't think I want to add that extra part that you see right here. So now, another shortcut I've set up is the R key. So watch what happens when I press the R key. I got to select it first, then press the R key. You can see it just shrunk it down to where that edit point is.
It comes with screws.
And now I'm gonna go Control S. So I'm saving, and I haven't even saved it yet. Wow. All right, so we're gonna call this Wisecam version 2 install or something, and I'll hit save. So now I'm saved, and it's a live saving as well in the background. So we're good there. So I'm going to go to the next clip. So I'll go back to effects library because I'm sorry, not effects library, but media pool. One of the things you're going to, I want you to do, you probably don't have it yet, is to right click here and go down to where it says usage. Make sure that's clicked because this is very useful. You can see what you've already used. And if it goes all the way to the end, you can just slide this around. See how the real name, I could slide this that way, or I could slide usage this way. And if you don't see enough of it, you can just expand it out to where you can see it. And what I want you to do, now that usage is up here, right click and go all the way down to where it says update usage, and you can see the track that we've already done. So all this stuff above here, except for this, these first three I don't need because they were bad takes. So we're going to go on to the next clip.
Now a lot of people have already done reviews on these in terms of.
Again, I don't know if I did a second clip here. Usually when I get going, I don't have to do a second. Yeah, you see I didn't. So I'm going to use this one. I'm looking at the audio. It's a great way to edit. So I'm going to put the I point here and probably just hit play from here.
It's probably just as much as the camera.
And then hit the O. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide it down here. Now there's another way to do this, which we'll get into as maybe we add some things towards the end. But what I want you to get used to doing is grabbing here, grab and click, drag it into here, and you'll see this thing comes in. There's an insert, there's an overwrite, replace, there's a bunch of different things. One you're going to probably use the most is insert. So I'm just going to click it, release, and then boom, you can see it added. So I'm going to go with Shift Z to zoom out a little bit, move it around, and now here's my edit point. So I'm going from here.
And it comes with screws. Now a lot of people.
Now already we got a problem with audio. If I click on here and I click the audio, you can see I raised the volume to like 12. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to raise the audio volume on this one. Already I know I'm going to go up to 12. So let's go ahead and back to the edit point.
And it comes with screws. Now a lot of people have already done reviews on these. And
you can see I'm already making a mistake because I don't normally do this. Is I'm looking at the screen and not the lens on the camera of the phone. So it's a little distracting. If you're farther back, you probably don't have to worry about it, but I'm finding that distracting already. Let's see this again.
And it comes with screws. Now a lot of people have already done reviews on these in terms of how to set them up, and I've already set this one up. Normally I don't want to do that, but what you don't see a lot of people do is installing them. It might give you ideas. Your construction in your house might be different, but basically an eave structure, which you're going to see here in a second, I think this will last just fine. It won't get too terribly wet, although this is the west side of the house, and that's where most of my weather comes from. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a video in about a year to tell you if it's still going. They're only 20 bucks, so I could buy a housing for it or just buy another one. The housing is probably just as much as the camera.
So that's good. I have no problem with that. So I'm going to move on. Let's see what we got here.
So I want to mount this power right to here.
So I'm going to start right here, hit the in point, and I'll go to the out point. Now, a lot of people edit a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you another way. Instead of going up like here, you can always just take this and just drag it down here this way as well. Again, I'm just going to move this to +12 audio. Like that. And we'll see what this edit looks like.
It's probably just as much as the camera.
So I want to mount this power right to here, but I don't want the cord going up here to the eave along the pegboard. So I want to put it back behind. So I'm going to take the plate off first and see what's behind there, see if I can snake that cable up through there.
So next up, I think So yeah, there's one screw, here's the other screw, and then the plate comes off. So I'll probably go out here, and again, I'll just go to insert. If you just get into that habit. Here, audio-wise, it's, I don't know, we're just gonna raise it a little bit. You can see where it drops. It's gonna be, it might clip a little bit. We'll get into audio, maybe we won't even get into audio. But I think it'll be kind of fun here, and I see a lot of other construction people do this.
Let's see what's behind there, see if I can snake that cable up through there.
Like right there. I'm going to probably cut it. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm going to hit the T key, and you can see I just, T for trim, I just created that. I'm going to, if I could drag this like this, and then move this like this, which is kind of, I don't know, takes a while. So we got this one, then we go to this screw. That's kind of fun. I'm going to hit the T key again. Now another way to do this is just to advance it to where you know you're starting on the next screw. And what I want you to do is hit the E key. And see how I did all of that in just one keystroke, which is nice. Now I'm noticing that there's something here on the end. I don't know where that came from. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. So now we've got this
Up through there.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise the volume a bit more on each one of these so you can get more of the impact of it.
Up through there.
See right there, I'm kind of bored already. I want to get this going a little bit faster, so I'm going to hit the E key again. Let's hear it go. Lean. Yeah, you got the plate falling off. You know what's going to be funny is my brother's going to be watching this like, man, you're doing a terrible job. All right, so I'm going to refresh the update usage so I can see where I'm at. So this is our next clip. Let's see what we got.
As you can see, I've got to get... No. That's
See, I'm making mistakes. What I might do right here is I might do a bit more of the edit, and then maybe I'll even speed it up, but I won't talk over it. And when I get to a section where I think, you know, we've already talked about E and R and T and how to stretch things around. If I get to something a little bit more interesting, I'll come back after I fast forward this part.
This, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole with this particular that's never mind. So I have got width into the pegboard. So I have got to get this up through there, and there's not enough room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole with this particular. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole. Maybe somewhere. to this problem. All right, so that fits through. So now is the hard part. This side and dangle it down. All right. So I used some tent poles and I went in there and I pulled it, and now all I have to do is just get this through here and we've got it.
All right, so I've cut off some stuff here. Maybe I'll bring up the volume a bit.
All right, so I used some tent.
You can hear this.
All right,
so I need to stretch this out. So I'm gonna hit the B key, and you can see it changed. My cursor changed. If I hit V, it looks one way. If I hit B, it looks the other way. B, V, and basically I'm just toggling. You see this thing right here? It's turning red. They're alternating between this one and this one. This one's more of a selection tool. This one's more of like a. You'll see what happens when I do it. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna drag it that way. But no, that was the wrong way. So I'm going to do undo, which is Control Z. And I'm going to actually go the other way. I'm going to go this way. And you can see where I started the word. I didn't want to cut that off. So now.
All right, so I used some tent poles and I went in there and I pulled it. And now all I have to do is just get this through here. And we've got it.
And we got it. So I'm just going to update usage, see where I'm at. There we go. Looks like a bad filming. A lot of times I was hitting the record button. I didn't mean to. Now, I'm farther away from the microphone, so this will be interesting to see what this one does. I see where I say all right. We'll start it there. And we'll insert that. You can see the hammer is one volume, so we're going to probably split this up.
Alright, so I'm going to take these little blue...
See, it's kind of soft. So before I start hammering, what you can do is you can T, or press T, and then I'm just going to bring up the volume to where I think it looks good. Just looking at here, not spending too much time on this.
Through here, and we've got it. Alright, so I'm going to take these little blue things you can buy from the hardware store. At least I bought these years ago. They're great for holding the cables in place. And I'm just going to tack a few in, taking up some slack.
And then here I'm probably just going to bring the volume down a bit so it's not so obnoxious when I start pounding. And then since I got that one done, people don't need to watch all of that. So I'm going to hit T, and then I'm going to bring it to where I'm going to do the next one, which is kind of out of frame. So you know what? I'm probably not even going to show it because it's out of frame. You can see me looking at the camera. Can I see that? And I was like, I can't see that. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to hit the V key now. So I'll get back to my selection tool, select the clip. And there's two different ways you can do this. There's backspace and there's delete. And they act differently. Let me show you how they act. I'm going to bring this clip in. I'm going to put it right next to it. In fact, there's something got added right here. I don't know where that got added from. I want to show you how delete and backspace works. I want to delete this clip, so I'm going to hit the backspace. And see how it left the hole? I'm going to undo it. Now I'm going to hit the delete key and watch what happens. See how it brought the clips together? So delete and backspace are different. So just so you know, sometimes you're going to use one, sometimes you will use the other. And I think I'm climbing back up the ladder, and I'm demonstrating that you can't drill straight down. So maybe I'll start right here. I'll hit the E key, and then let's bring up the volume. I'm just going to do this by eye instead of doing 12.
Alright, so here comes the big problem, is I can't take this and drill down.
This is a bad camera angle. I should have, since I'm working at heights, I couldn't get the tripod in the right spot and the light was in the way. Sorry about that.
Because of the, up here, I can't get it at an angle to go straight down where I want it.
And see, I think I'm done. So right about here, I'm going to hit the R key. So clean that up. I'm going to update, see where we're at. Let's move on to the next clip. Maybe things start right here.
I just can't get the angle down, so I'm going to have to go outside and do it there.
So yeah, so I felt guilty about that, so I did a closer shot of it. So I don't know how that works.
I can't get it at an angle to go straight down where I want.
So here's something. What I do is I'm going to hit the Alt key and press just on the audio. And I'm going to hit the backspace key. And basically what that did, it just deleted the audio. I'm going to actually bring this up.
Up here.
See, when I start tapping, maybe this is like my B-roll.
Up here. I can't get it at an angle to go straight down where I want it.
See that? So you can use that as B-roll. So I'm kind of cheating here. All right, next one. I go outside. Let's hit the I key.
All right, so I'm just going to drill from here. And I know this is...
I think I made a mistake here. I think I started over again.
All right, I know the stud is right here from inside.
Yeah, because I had to go back in and find out where the stud was. So we're going to start it here and maybe out here. Bring that down. Bring it over, and let's bring up the audio. I'm just going to press the, I forgot to tell you, but I'm pressing the up key. There's the up and down keys. I'm just pressing the up key. Sorry about that, I didn't mention that before.
Down where I want it. All right, I know the stud is right here from inside, so I just want to be on this side of it. And this is hollow. And I want to mount the camera about right here. So I want the cable just to come right out and go right in. So I'm just going to go maybe an inch or so off, because I want to keep the camera away from the rain as much as possible. So let's say right here. Now I choose this drill bit. I chose this drill bit because it's big enough.
See where I said it twice?
Now,
I'll probably T it right here and go to the part where I start over again, and I'll hit the R key. You'll do that a lot. You'll like say something twice.
I chose this drill bit because it's big enough for the little tip to go through.
And I think we're moving on.
Now at this point you might be thinking, boy, this guy's stupid because, nah.
I think I kept this take. Yeah, so we'll start it right here. And we'll zoom out and we'll add some audio. Whoop. Obviously, if the closer you are, the better. And if you wore a wireless microphone, it would be even better. You can see I'm getting my jacket dirty. All right, let's see what this edit looks like.
Tip to go through. Now at this point you might be thinking, boy, this guy's stupid because now how is he going to get it down from there if he can't see it from inside? It'll be much easier to push it this way.
So I might answer that question instead of keep talking and make this video longer. I'll try to shorten it. We're already at like 5 minutes. So any place I can find to shorten, I'm going to try to do that. So let's.
If you can't see it.
So maybe I'll answer that question a different way.
From there, if you can't see it.
So right here, I'm going to hit the R key because I think I answer it in a way. So shorter is better. Yeah, I'm going to scrub through this because I think.
Alright, so now I got to get this little tip down into here. But as you can see, I can't know where to go. So I'm going to use my phone to shoot down and find.
So I tried using the phone, it didn't work. So I'm going to actually do in here, out there. Bring this to here. Raise the audio.
There if we can't see it. All right, so now I got to get this little tip down into here. But as you can see,
I think down to here.
Into here.
That's all I really need. Again, shorter is better if you can explain it a different way. And you can see I tried to find the hole. I couldn't see it because I was off by, I think, maybe 10 inches or so. I picked the wrong spot.
I've used the phone a couple times. I kind of have an idea, so I'm just going to do this by feel and find out where.
And that didn't work either. So here, I think I explained it.
All right, so I couldn't find where the hole was, so I put one of my tent stakes up and just put a piece of tape on it. And now when I go around the other side, I'll be able to find it really easy.
See, I just marked the out point there, put it on the timeline.
Down into here. All right, so I couldn't find where the hole was.
All right, let's raise the audio. I don't think I need to watch the whole thing again.
All right, so there it is. I found the tent.
Let's see if I say it a third time.
All right, now I found the tent, so now I'm going to push it through. All right, now I found the tent, so now I'm going to push it through, and you'll see it come out the other end.
So I knew it all, like maybe as I'm saying it, I'll have it come down. Yeah, let's try that. That might be a good way to edit that. So here it is. It's going to fall at some point. You see it just fell? Let's see if there's any movement right here. I'm just scrolling. Right about here is where it starts. And right there it falls. And I want to probably hear it fall. So I'll put the out. Oop. Got the in and the out wrong. In and out. There we go. And what I might do here is overlay this.
All right, now I found the tent. So
maybe overlay this. Like, so here's the problem when you have multiple tracks. You can see I'm lifting this. That's working. I'm going to hold the control. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So these tracks, we'll get into this maybe in a different video, but the way these things are lit up will kind of make your mind hurt in terms of what is active and how you're editing. But basically what I did is I just brought this red square up to this one instead of down here. And then I was able to move this around.
Now I'm going to push it through.
Just when I say I'm about to push it through, maybe I bring this over and why is that doing that? Alright.
So now I'm going to push it through and you'll see it come out the other end.
That works. See how I overlaid that with the audio? Again, shorter is better. I think this was one big long take, which I'll probably use. Start here. Do I do anything after that?
Alright, let's get the camera.
Yeah, I think I like that. Let's get the camera. And then I'll insert it. Now you can see what happened. It's inserting on V2, the second track. So I'm going to go back to here. So if I do this again, I'm going to backspace that out and then go and say insert. And insert where the current cursor is. And see there, I've got it. Let's go ahead and bring this down. So let's go back to where it drops and then raise the volume of this. I'll raise the volume of the ding, 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 ding.
So now I'm going to push it through.
Yeah, let's raise this a bit too.
All right, now I found the tent. So now I'm going to push it through and you'll see it come out the other end. All right, now here's the plate I'm going to mount up here, and it's got these two kind of fins on the side that allows you to clip it in, and then these are kind of like releases on the side to when you want to take it out. I want to get it as close to here as possible. I didn't think about it, but you could probably get a motion detector for this light, so at night it'll turn on and you can see stuff in the camera. But this
Alright, that's making the video too long.
camera has night vision, so you don't really need it, but the night vision only goes to like maybe 10-15 feet away. It's not going to go really well. When you go to night vision, obviously it goes to black and white. Alright, so let's I want to get this as close as I can to here. I probably want it this way. Now let's go ahead and put the 4 screws in.
So I don't think I need that.
I didn't think about it, but
Right where I say I don't think I...
to here is possible.
I'll go T here, and then when I put in the first screw in, I'll go E. So now the first, go from here.
To here is possible. Now it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, although I'd like it to be straight.
Yeah, let's start when the screw goes in, instead of me rambling. E. T. Go to the second screw. I don't think we need all that stuff. Shorter is better. T. Find the next one. E. Next one. T. Next one. E. No, yeah, E. And let's watch it.
To here is possible. Alright, let's get the camera.
Yeah, that works. Sorry for that. That was my doorbell making that other noise that you heard, the chimes. So we're on this one. Let's see what we got here. Ramble, ramble, ramble. Always looking for ways to cut things out. You're going to find you're going to ramble. I do like me cupping up the ladder. So I come up right into the frame about right here. So I'll go I. And we'll go all the way to the end, maybe to here, out. And then we'll just insert this down. You're going to see this magnet snapping. You want to make sure that's on. If it's not on, this won't snap very well. You won't feel confident putting it next to the other clips. You want this to be on like that, so it snaps into place. Let's go ahead and bring up the volume. I'm just pressing the up key. Maybe that's too much. Maybe right about there.
Alright, let's get the camera. Alright, so this camera has got a 32 gig card. It actually goes in right there. You can see it. And it'll record for 14 days. The beauty thing about this is you don't have to pay for like the Ring doorbell, $3 a month. It's totally free. It goes into the cloud, so you can check on anything from anywhere in the world with your phone, which is pretty cool.
Okay. We'll keep going.
Let's go ahead and connect the power. This USB port back here, I think the big one is for setting it up, but I didn't need to do it that way. This one is keyed, and it looks like the big side goes there. This 10-foot cable that I bought from Amazon barely fits into this hole, but it does fit if you just give it enough pressure. By the camera company. So I just can push this cable back up in, and let's go ahead and clip it into this device here. Hold on, am I doing that right? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe since I'm having problems clipping it,
and let's go ahead and clip it into this.
where I'm in pain, go find another part where I'm actually getting it snaps in. And maybe do an E.
So I just can push this cable back up in, and let's go ahead and clip it into this.
Maybe right. Maybe E is right here.
And let's go ahead and clip it into this. I use a finger now to get under there, and there you go. Now since I've got
Yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. So I'm going to go right to here where I can see the audio. I'm going to press the E key. Let's try this again.
Cable back up in, and let's go ahead and clip it into this. Since it's under this eave and the rain's going to be dropping.
Yeah, I just zoomed in because I think I want a finer edit.
So I just going to push this cable back up in, and let's go ahead and clip it into this. Since it's under this eave and the rain's going to be dropping here, it's okay.
Maybe wait until I turn to the camera and I start speaking, I'll press E again. I'm going to press B to stretch this out because I didn't really get that positive click that I wanted. Right there. That's probably what I want. I'll press R. So
since it's under this eave and the rain's going to be dropping here, it's okay, but on the west side, and the water's going to be coming, the wind's going to be blowing the water up against here. The vulnerable is the top and the back. The back I'm not worried about too much, but the top, so I want to go as high as I can. See, I can rotate it this way or that way. And I'm probably going to point it almost, maybe a little bit towards my neighbor's house.
Maybe that's all I need. I don't think I need any more. Let's listen to it though.
And push it in like that.
Yeah.
With my neighbor's house.
I'm going to hit R, get rid of that. And let's see what else we got. We're almost done. That's just a mistake. Here's a close-up.
All right, so what are the obvious things you might be thinking about? Well, your camera's upside down. Well, in software, I can rotate this 180 degrees.
I kind of want to include that.
All right, so what are the obvious things?
So, and the audio is much better because I'm closer to the
backyard
camera. So let's go ahead and insert that. Bring up the volume. And let's go and check this out. Here's another thing. You see how I'm moving the timeline around like this? If you just move your mouse back and forth, it doesn't do that. What I'm doing is I'm taking the center wheel of the mouse and I'm pushing it down. And then when I do that, I can move the timeline around like this. So let's go ahead and see how that edit works.
A little bit towards my neighbor's house. All right, so what are the obvious things you might be thinking about? Well, your camera's upside down. Well, in software, I can rotate this 180 degrees the image and we'll be fine. So again, I'm just trying to protect the holes in the back. And I'm trying to protect the holes here. So it's under the eave. So I'm going to just push it up as high as I can so the water doesn't get on top. Rotate it, and the water coming, I doubt the water is going to come all the way, hit here, and go back into the holes. Who knows, it might. We'll see how long it lasts. All right, let's check out some.
I've already said see how long it lasts, so I'm going to get rid of that.
Into the holes. Who knows, it might.
And just hit R here and get rid of that part. And then I move on to here, which I don't think I have audio for. I was talking while I was doing it, so I'm going to probably have to overdub this part of it, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and drag this on the screen. And you can see, I can see right here, I don't have any audio. So I'm just going to hit the Alt, and I'm going to press down here and hit the backspace. And it just gets rid of that quite quickly. There's other ways to do it. You can decouple it other different ways, but for me, that's fine. Another thing to think about too is you can see I'm using the scroll wheel on the mouse and I'm above. Here, I'm going to hit the V key. You can see the track is going up and down. Sometimes the track will look like this. We'll just move your scroll wheel up. And then also the same thing happens on the audio portion down below. See, I'm just cursoring around or using the jog wheel on the mouse. So here I kind of stepped through the whole process of rotating it, setting the detection, and I kind of recorded an outro. And here, when it rotates, I'm going to find the frame at which it rotates, which is right here. I'm going to hit T, and I'm actually going to rotate the image 90 degrees. Yeah, 90, I think. So I'm going to try 90. Yeah, that's fine. And then, right, you see where it says zoom? I'm just going to click and zoom and bring this up to where it matches the frame. So now when we go from here, and then I do the voiceover for this port, and it rotates, it'll be more like that, and you can see the whole entire frame. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to add this after, but for this tutorial, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and render it next, but I'm not going to include this section. I'll do this later. Let's go ahead and render it. There's a few other tabs. Fusion is like After Effects, you don't have to worry about. Color tab, we're not going to do any coloring on this. We maybe can get into it in a different video. Deliver is what we want next. So they make it pretty easy on you. If you want to do YouTube 1080, which is what this timeline is, just go ahead and click 1080. And then it'll pretty much choose everything pretty well. Not for this type of video, it'll be fine. And then you click Add to Render Queue. It's asking where. Oh, I see. It's because it's the first time I've ever done that, because I didn't choose a location. We're going to just call this like Wisecam install. And location, I have a X drive. You can put it anywhere on your C drive, Doug. And then I'll add to render queue, and then you see it lands right here. And then I'll hit the start render, and then it's going to render it out. And this program is really fast. Look how fast it's going. It's doing 150 frames per second. So it's going to render this thing really fast. So I'll be back in a second. All right, you can see it's done. And it only took a minute and 50 seconds to render out, what, almost 10 minutes of video. So once you're done, go to YouTube, click on it, find where you put it. And for me, this was this one, and then just click open, and then it'll start uploading to YouTube. And there you go. Have fun. If you have any other questions, Doug, just give me a call. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.